Hey, ChatGPT, what do you know about the physics of the Day of Judgment according to the Quran? And what is the end of time and the time reversal? It's quite confusing to me. Could you elaborate in 30 seconds?
Quran Surah Al-Hajj chapter 22 verse 7. And that the hour is coming, no doubt about it, and that Allah will resurrect those who are in the graves. This verse emphasizes the certainty of the Day of Judgment and the resurrection of all individuals for accountability. Clearly, in Islamic eschatology, the Day of Judgment, Yom al-Qiyamah, is a pivotal event where all individuals are resurrected and held accountable for their deeds. The Quran describes it as a day of reckoning, where the universe undergoes significant upheaval, leading to the end of the world. The end of time refers to this ultimate conclusion of human history, marking the final judgment. Time reversal is a concept that suggests a transformation of reality where the normal flow of time may be altered, allowing for events to unfold differently or to reflect the divine justice of God. This idea emphasizes the omnipotence of God over time and existence.
Thank you so much, ChatGPT. Let's dive deeper into this chapter together with Jack and Wilson. Hey everyone, before we dive into that, I was delving into my YouTube channel analytics and noticed most of you who watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. Would you do me a huge favor, please, and hit the subscribe button? It really motivates me and helps the channel to grow so I can do more videos just like the one you're about to watch. So without further ado, let's dive in.
And trust me, you won't want to miss it.
It's going to be epic.
See you then. Welcome back to our deep dive into the physics of the Day of Judgment.
We're picking up where we left off.
If you're just joining us, we've been exploring this 1982 paper
By Dr. Mohammed Humayun Khan.
that connects Quranic verses with some pretty mind-blowing physics concepts.
We've talked about a contracting universe time running in reverse,
Even the possibility of a hollow Earth.
with gateways to other dimensions.
It's been a wild ride so far.
And it's about to get even wilder.
Because now we're going to delve into what the Day of Judgment might actually look like.
From inside this hollow Earth.
And it involves a pretty familiar phenomenon.
An eclipse.
An eclipse. But wouldn't that just be a normal solar or lunar eclipse?
Not quite. Dr. Khan points to a specific description of an eclipse in the Quran.
Okay, where's that?
Verses 75.7 to 9.
Right.
Where it says, when sight is confounded and the moon is eclipsed and the sun and moon are united. He argues that this description doesn't quite match up with a typical eclipse.
As we'd see it from Earth's surface.
Remember, in this scenario, we're inside a hollow Earth.
With the sky at its center. Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. So, what does he think this eclipse actually is?
He suggests that the sun and moon are united could actually refer to that portal
The gateway we talked about.
at the center of the Earth's hollow interior.
Ah, I see.
Imagine it as a single, incredibly brilliant light source.
Like nothing we've ever seen before.
Exactly.
So instead of the sun and moon actually merging, it's more like our perception of them changes.
Because we're looking at this incredible light source from inside the Earth.
That's a pretty wild interpretation.
It is, but it fits with some other Quranic descriptions as well.
Like what?
Well, for example, verse 77.8 talks about the stars being put out. If we're inside a hollow Earth, we wouldn't be able to see the stars anymore.
That's true. It's like all the familiar celestial markers we use to orient ourselves.
Would disappear,
It would be completely disorienting.
to say the least.
Okay, so what happens next in this scenario?
The Quran also mentions angels, right?
Right. Angels, what about them?
Verse 25.25 describes the heavens being torn apart and angels descending.
Okay.
Dr. Khan connects this to the opening of those gates in the sky.
Those portals to higher dimensions.
Right. He suggests that angels might be descending through these portals.
To carry out their assigned tasks on the Day of Judgment.
It's like a cosmic scene from a biblical epic.
But with a scientific twist.
Exactly.
It's mind-blowing. But what about us, though?
What happens to humanity during all of this?
Yeah, where do we fit into this grand cosmic drama?
Well, according to Dr. Khan, as time reverses, people would rise from their grave.
In their own time periods.
Imagine everyone who has ever lived coming back to life as time runs backward.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
And verse 18.47 even talks about mountains being removed and not a single soul being left behind.
So it's like this massive gathering of all of humanity from all points in history.
Precisely.
It's a pretty awe-inspiring image, but I have to ask if everything is happening in reverse.
Wouldn't we be going back to a state of non-existence?
Like, wouldn't we just unlive our lives?
That's a great question, and Dr. Khan addresses it.
Okay, how does he explain that?
by saying that the angels gather everyone, ensuring no one is left behind.
Ah, so we don't regress back into nothingness.
It's like they're guiding humanity on this incredible journey beyond this universe.
Okay, and that's where verse 84.1 yin comes in, right?
It talks about riding from plane to plane.
What does that mean in this context?
Dr. Khan interprets this as a transition across different dimensions
Almost like a cosmic journey.
through those gates in the sky,
So picture this, all of humanity guided by angels,
moving through these portals, potentially crossing multiple dimensions,
before finally arriving at this vast plane of existence.
where everyone from all of history is assembled.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. It's like a cosmic reunion of epic proportions.
It really is.
But if this is all predetermined, if time is reversing and everything is happening according to a set plan...
Does free will even exist?
Yeah, that's a good question. If we're just following a script that's already been written, can we truly say we have free will?
It's a deep philosophical question, and Dr. Khan acknowledges this directly in the paper.
Oh, really? So what does he say?
He says that in the expanding universe, the universe we're experiencing now,
Yeah.
we do have free will. Our choices matter, and they have consequences.
But as the universe contracts and time reverses,
Free will becomes irrelevant.
because our actions are already set.
We're essentially just witnessing them unfold, but in reverse.
So it's like a cosmic playback of our lives where we're forced to confront the consequences of our actions.
But without the ability to change anything.
It's a bit unsettling.
It is a bit.
And you said there's a verse that supports this idea.
Yes. Verse 82.19 states that on that day, no soul has power over any other soul.
And the absolute command belongs to Allah.
It suggests a state of being where our individual agency is suspended.
Wow, that's heavy stuff.
It is. It makes you really think about the choices you make each day.
And how they contribute to the overall tapestry of your life.
Exactly. Even though we're exploring the Day of Judgment through this scientific lens.
The core message remains deeply spiritual. Our actions have consequences, and we are ultimately accountable for them.
That's a powerful message, regardless of how you interpret the Day of Judgment.
It really is. Speaking of accountability, I have to ask, when does all of this happen?
Can we predict when the Day of Judgment will occur based on this model of a contracting universe?
Yeah. Is there a way to calculate it?
Dr. Khan is very clear on this point.
Okay.
Even if his physics model is correct, the exact timing of the Day of Judgment is unknowable.
So there's no point in trying to calculate the date or look for signs?
Not according to Dr. Khan.
Okay.
He says that only God, who exists outside of our perception of time, knows the true timing.
Makes sense. And this actually ties into another fascinating concept that he discusses.
The perception of time after death.
Oh, that's interesting. What does he say about that?
Well, several Quran, verses 30.55556, 10.45, and 50.1920, to name a few,
Okay.
suggest that once we die, there's no perception of time passing.
So it's like falling asleep and waking up on the Day of Judgment.
For those who have passed away, you will feel as though no time has elapsed.
Between their death and this moment of cosmic reckoning,
That's a pretty profound thought.
it really is. It puts things into perspective.
If we don't experience time after we die, does that mean our consciousness just pauses until the Day of Judgment?
What are the implications for how we view this life if it's just a blink of an eye compared to eternity?
Those are great questions and ones that people have pondered for centuries.
It really highlights how limited our understanding of time and consciousness truly is.
It's a mystery we may never fully unravel.
I think the main takeaway here, as Dr. Khan emphasizes, is that our actions have consequences.
Regardless of when or how the Day of Judgment unfolds.
Whether or not the scientific details of his model are ultimately proven correct, that core message is something we can all learn from.
I agree, it resonates with people across cultures and beliefs.
It really does transcend any specific religious or scientific framework.
And ultimately, I think it leads us to one of the most fundamental questions humans have ever grappled with.
What is the purpose of our existence?
Why are we here?
That's a question each of us has to answer for ourselves.
But exploring ideas like the ones Dr. Khan presents in his paper can definitely give us a new perspective.
Push us to think outside the box.
And maybe even help us approach those big existential questions with a bit more wonder and curiosity.
Absolutely. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive,
And I think it's time to move on to part 3.
where we'll explore some of the broader implications of Dr. Khan's ideas.
And what they might mean for our understanding of life, death, and the universe itself.
It's going to be a fascinating discussion.
So stay tuned, folks.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the physics of the Day of Judgment.
You still with us?
Because we've been through a lot.
A lot of mind-bending stuff.
Time travel, hollow earths,
gates in the sky.
I mean, it's been a wild ride.
It really has.
And I have to say, my head is still spinning from all these incredible concepts.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
But it's also really exciting.
It opens up all sorts of new ways of thinking about the universe.
Exactly. And for me, one of the most intriguing ideas is this connection between time and the expansion of the universe.
Right, the idea that if the universe starts to contract and time reverses...
What does that mean for our understanding of cause and effect?
Like, does the arrow of time just disappear?
It's like trying to imagine a movie playing in reverse.
The ending becomes the beginning.
Everything we thought we knew about the order of events gets flipped on its head.
It really challenges our fundamental understanding of reality.
And it makes you wonder, if time can flow backward, could we potentially influence the past?
Or would our actions in a reversed time flow still be predetermined?
It's a bit of a paradox.
It is, and it gets to the heart of the whole debate about free will versus determinism.
If everything is already set, are we really in control of our choices?
These are questions that philosophers have been wrestling with for centuries.
And Dr. Kahn's model adds a whole new layer of complexity to the debate.
It really does.
Another thing I've been thinking about is those higher dimensions that Dr. Kahn talks about.
Yeah, those gates in the sky, those portals to other realms.
If we were to escape through them, what would that experience even be like?
Could our human minds even comprehend it?
It's almost impossible to imagine.
I mean, our brains are wired to perceive the world in 3 dimensions.
So anything beyond that is just beyond our grasp?
It's like trying to explain color to someone who's been blind since birth.
They simply have no frame of reference for it.
Exactly.
Some people might even say these ideas sound more mystical or spiritual than scientific.
You're right. There's definitely a blurring of the lines between science and spirituality in Dr. Kahn's work.
He's using scientific principles to explore a concept that's deeply rooted in faith.
But I think he's showing us that science and spirituality aren't necessarily at odds with each other.
Maybe they're actually two sides of the same coin.
2 different ways of trying to understand the same ultimate reality.
Exactly, and Dr. Kahn even quotes a verse from the Quran 27.75.
And there is nothing hidden in the heavens or the earth, but it is in a clear record.
It's like he's saying that the universe itself is a testament to a higher power.
And through scientific exploration, we can uncover deeper truths about that power.
So maybe science and religion are both pointing us towards the same ultimate mystery.
Maybe they're both part of the same grand cosmic story.
It's a beautiful thought.
It is. And throughout the paper, Dr. Kahn emphasizes that even if the scientific details of his model turn out to be inaccurate, the core message is still relevant.
That is.
Our actions have consequences, and we should live our lives with that awareness.
That's a powerful message, regardless of whether you believe in a literal day of judgment with time reversal and a hollow earth or not.
It's a universal truth that transcends any specific religious or scientific framework.
And it ultimately leads us to that fundamental question of, why are we here?
What is the purpose of our existence?
That's a question each of us has to answer for ourselves.
But exploring ideas like the ones Dr. Kahn presents can give us a new perspective.
And maybe even help us approach those big questions with a little more wonder and humility.
Absolutely. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into the physics of the Day of Judgment.
And I hope you found it as thought-provoking as we have.
We've explored some pretty mind-blowing concepts.
But ultimately, the message is one of hope and responsibility.
We have the power to choose how we live our lives.
And to make choices that align with our values and beliefs.
So let's go out there and make the most of this precious gift of life.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey.
We hope you'll continue to explore these ideas with us.
And to share your own thoughts and insights.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep searching, and keep your minds open to the wonders of the universe.
See you on the next.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you've gained some valuable insights. If you're a truth seeker, yearning for divine light and ready to step out of darkness, now is your moment. The truth is that Allah is the one and only creator of the universe. He has sent over 124,000 messengers and prophets to guide humanity, starting with Adam and culminating with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. If you resonate with this message, you might be ready to embrace Islam. Simply recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. For further support, feel free to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a private message there. The link is in the video description. Don't wait until it's too late. We look forward to connecting with you soon.